found him lying in the lane, Ezekiel and Sid Bunt. He'd been sat upon by villains.
No. Jud Painter. What have we done now?
You've died, Mum.
Dead?
He was attacked. God knows who by. Apparently he's dead. I must go and see Prudy. Come on, come on.
You were one of the best, Master. One of the best. We did have our ups and downs like most folk, but you were one of the best. And now he'd be dead. Oh, it didn't fare no right, sir.
I'm very sorry, Prudy.
It's kind of you, sir, but nothing will bring him back to me.
I think we'll all miss him.
Poor old Varmint. Don't nail him down till all his friends have seen him.
When's the funeral, Prudy? Demelza and I would both like to come.
Oh, why, that'd be kind of you, Captain Ross. And you good lady.
I've known Jud since I was a boy.
Still, it'd be good of you. We'd be burying him come Thursday.
We'll both be here.
We were going to give him a proper send-off with a ham and a bit of a spread. He wanted to go like that.
Well, if you need any money.
No, he did have money, sir. He did have money I knew nothing about. He had 15 guineas in his backy pouch.
15 guineas? Where would Jud get 15 guineas?
Well, I don't know, sir. He never told me nothing about it, but... Well, I'm going to use it to give him a good send-off. He'd have wanted burying proper or fitty going, and that's what we'll give him.
If I were you, Prudy, I'd put the money aside to live on. Keep you well and clothed for some time.
Oh, no, sir, no. No, he'd have wanted it proper, and that's what it'll be. Just like a gentleman. 18 then.
Oh, yes, sir. Now, don't he take on so, Prudy, dear. He'll meet him again in heaven.
Oh, no.
Are you mad?
It wasn't intended, Father.
Whether it was intended or not is neither here nor there. How in the devil's name did you get us into this mess?
Trying to recover your money.
Money's one thing. Murder's another.
Now, in the second place...
Why do we have to keep on going over and over it?
Constable Vage be only doing his duty, my dear.
He do keep on reminding me. I've been widowed, and he do just keep on reminding me.
There.
'Tis only my duty, as Tina says, Prudy, and I do have to do it. Now, did he, your late husband and our dear friend, did he, as far as he knows, have any enemies?
Well, he was the finest and kindest man as ever lived.
Amen.
When was that, then?
Thirdly, who saw him last alive?
Well, those villains that killed him. Use your red man.
I do realize that, Zaki. What I be asking is who, before he was set upon that night, saw him previous? Previous being before he were killed.
I did.
When was that?
When he went down the Kidley for a glass of rum.
And what time was that?
Oh, how do I know? It was afore sunset.
Afore sunsets. Ah.
Well, that hasn't got him much farther, has it?
I will come to Zaki Martin in good time.
I see no reason to bother. I didn't kill him.
Ah, now that be something I do not know. You may not have. On the other hand, in the eyes of the law at this moment, you might have.
God save us.
Prudy, do Do we have any thought as to why your poor husband might have been attacked so villainously, or who might have done it?
I've told you no, now leave me alone.
Villains have done it. Anyone knows that.
We all do know that villains have done it. What we be trying to find out is who they villains are.
Well, we don't know, do we? And if we did, we'd tell you, wouldn't we? And if he don't see that, he'd be even more of a fool than I thought.
Should we call in on Prudy on the way to Trenwith tonight? It's Jud's send-off, isn't it?
Yes, but I think they prefer to keep it amongst themselves. We'll go to the funeral tomorrow.
Right. Can I talk to you?
Of course you can talk to me.
I mean, can we talk serious?
What about?
I'm sorry I haven't been, well, close to you in bed this while.
You're usually asleep when I get there, and I'm usually tired.
And I didn't mean that. Anyway, I'm not always asleep. I don't want to give you no more trouble than you already have. But I fear I will.
What are you talking about?
I know that after Julia, you'd want no more children. You'd want no more responsibilities. You've got enough. But I'm going to have another baby. Ross,
I see.
it's too late to get rid of it.
Good God, surely you don't want to get rid of it, do you?
Well, I thought of it. But then I remembered the first time.
Thank God you didn't try.
I thought you'd be so angry.
No. I might have been a month or two ago.
I was frightened to tell you.
Frightened of me? Demelza.
Well, it was what you said that made me afraid.
Then I should not have said it. Knowing what I do now, do you think I can be anything but glad?
Thank you. Thank you.
Don't he look calm? He looks better dead than he did alive.
Come on, my dear. You must get ready now.
But it make no difference, Tina. When I just think, many's the day I've looked forward to seeing him in that box. And when it happens, I don't like it.
We have paid our respects, ma'am, and do offer you our condolences.
Oh, that'd be kind of you.
He do make a fine corpse.
It'd be a mortal tragedy for one and all.
Oh, thank you, Ezekiel.
We brought these here along, Prudy, to help you bear up.
Oh, that'd be good of you, Zaki. Oh, put him down there with the rest, will you?
It's a good job he's dead. If he'd seen this lot, he'd never have got to heaven sober.
Poor Jud.
Poor Prudy. Poor they may be, but who are they?
They work for us, husband and wife.
Well, so-called husband and wife.
Shouldn't speak ill of the dead.
No, I wasn't speaking ill of the dead. I was very fond of Jud. And Prudy.
They smelt so, both of them.
They sound delightful.
Oh, no, he wasn't as dreadful as all that. He was certainly a rogue, but he wasn't a bad one. Do you remember that time, Ross, up in the Tors when we were boys?
A great fishing expedition.
He took us up the river to catch trout. We'd walked for, oh, I don't know, nearly 2 hours, and when we got there, he discovered he'd forgotten the nets.
He hadn't forgotten the cider.
So what did he do? He took off all his clothes apart from his underwear, and he lay down in the river, And he taught us how to tickle trout to catch them.
He caught 6.
How did he die, this poacher?
He was attacked and murdered in a lane not far from here.
Murdered? Who by?
No one knows.
I know he was afraid of someone, of being attacked. He stopped me the other night and asked me to walk home with him. He said he was being followed. At
Did
the
he
time.
say by whom?
No, he was rather secretive about it.
Did he carry much money?
From what I seem to remember of him, he never carried more than the price of a drink.
I don't know. I think he might have had that night. Prudy told me that she found 15 guineas in his tobacco pouch.
15 guineas? Now, where the devil did he get that?
God knows.
Can't you guess? They wanted it back.
It was only 15 guineas, Father.
It was murder.
As to that, Father, there's nothing to associate us with the death of Master Painter.
That man, Garth, may talk.
He wouldn't dare.
Where are you going?
To bed. You're never much pleasure to be with, Father, when you're worrying.
We shall have to get Garth out of the county, which will cost us money. Your blundering, George, comes a mite hard on my pocket.
The death of a drunken fool like Painter will hardly cause a hue and cry over the whole county, Father. He was nobody. He won't even be missed.
A proper spread, my dear. A proper farewell, says. And he'll get over it, my dear. He'll get over it in time. Have another sip.
Can't fish in an easterly. All they fish disappearing in easterly. If he puts out their nets in an easterly, all he'd be doing is straining water.
Never ye fear, Prudy, man. We'll catch the villains that did it. We'll find them and we'll hang them from the highest tree. In fact, you name the tree, ma'am, and we'll hang them from it. On account of your untimely loss.
Cut off in his prime. I don't think I can finish my pudding.
I've arranged a meeting early next week with Pearson Pascoe about the reopening of Wheel Grace. Will you be able to come?
Yes, surely. Ross, I don't want this venture to go the same way as all the others, straight into the pocket of the Warleggans.
It won't. We'll make this one hard and fast.
Tell me,
Good.
how does Mr. Dvornin's enjoy Parliament? Do you hear?
Indeed. His letters are full of nothing else. And if they are to be believed, he enjoys himself greatly.
Though I hear his majority of bodmen is somewhat reduced.
Indeed it was. To nothing.
Sorry, I don't understand.
It was a tie between him and one of the other candidates. Poor Unwin was quite put out.
What? In spite of all the money his brother let him have to help him win?
Unwin says it wasn't enough.
Well, if you got no majority, how is it he's sitting in Parliament now?
Apparently, being the sitting member gave him some advantage. He merely resumed his seat and has refused to budge ever since.
Well, now, shall we continue in the other room?
Indeed.
Go straight through here. Elizabeth, show the lower.
Miss Van Van, might I speak with you before we go in?
Certainly, Dr. Ennis. About what?
I have had some oranges delivered.
How interesting. I have a recipe for orange ice. I will send it to you. How many do you have? A dozen?
No, 12 sacks.
Heavens, that will make a lot of orange ice.
Miss Penvennon, I am being serious.
Oh. Then I will sit down. Dr. Ennis.
Friends, this be a sad moment in our lives. I think it behoves us to take it serious. Among our many memories of times past, pleasures add, this, that, and the other. we did ought to remember the vacant chair. Yeah. That chair where our departed brother, Jud Painter, did used to sit. God bless his soul.
Amen.
Amen.
Friends, to our departed, beloved brother.
Our departed, beloved brother.
Been a nice evening, isn't it?
Oh, what have you been doing down there, Ezekiel? Started blowing in easterly, has it?
Dr. Ennis, if you don't come to the point soon, our friends will think we have eloped.
I'm merely trying to say that...
Then please do say it.
I mentioned to very few people that the disease scorbutus is caused by the lack of fresh fruit. Now, one person was Ross, and you were another. And I know from Ross that he didn't send me any oranges.
Then might it not have been one of the other very few people?
Exactly. I believe it was you.
Why on earth should you think that, Dr. Ennis?
Because none of the other people could have afforded such an extravagant gesture. Was it you?
Yes,
Why?
because I could afford it. Money should have some use, and I saw some use for it.
It was very good of you.
No, not entirely. Maybe I had a selfish motive. Perhaps I didn't want you to think I was just a frivolous person.
I never really thought you were. At least no more than your youth allowed.
That is a disability I can't help, Doctor. However, time, I understand, is a great cure for it. Now, we must join the others, or they will begin to discuss us.
And I don't want you to upset yourselves about me. I don't want you to feel that you have to concern yourselves about me and my deep grief. Because my husband, my dear Jud, he was to me a whited sepulchre. The light he was, and a pleasure through the whole of my married life.
It's gone.
What? The brandy?
No. The corpse. They'll be gone.
He's been spirited away.
Oh, mystifications, conjurations, and incantations.
Well, I do reckon the devil's taken his own.
Where is he? Who's taken him?
Body snatchers. That be what it is. There be body snatchers working here.
Who'd want a body like his?
For medical studies. Well, 'tis my belief a lot of them end up in pies.
Well, someone will need a rare set of teeth for old Jud. He was like a bit of leather when he were alive.
I do hear they cuts them up, then carves out the bowels and the liver. Then they do cut out the brains.
Well, for sure, that won't take him long, for he never had many to start with.
Do we mean Dr. Surgeon Ennis has taken him?
Why, don't talk so stupid. If Dr. Ennis had wanted a body, he could have had yours last year. It's only the fact that he cured you for nothing he'll be here tonight, talking like an idiot.
No, these be criminals who do make their living from it.
What be we going to do?
Take immediate action. Friends, another foul crime is being committed on our doorsteps. Body snatchers, a disgusting practice, have been about this night. And with them, they have taken the body of Prudy's dear departed. I must point out, as members of this village, It is incumbent upon us, not to mention the good feelings we have for the corpse and his good lady here, to arrange a search party and go out and find it. Wheretofore, I do induct you to become it.
It be blowing like hell in the night out there.
I do not care if it be blowing one of your easterlies, Ezekiel Scowen. My duty is to prevent the body of Jud Painter from falling in the hands of these surgeons and their students up in London. To which end, all you men will put on your jackets and follow me.
Disgrace of it. Oh, he mustn't think on it like that. There's no reflection on him, my dear.
But the hole's dug and everything. What be the point of a funeral if you ain't got no one to bury? Oh, what am I going to do?
How about a song?
Glass of brandy. Glass of brandy!
We be closed.
What be the matter with everyone tonight?
Now, all of ye, go round the village and look in every corner, especially the churchyard. They may be robbing graves. They may still be digging up more bodies.
And if they be not, what we be looking for?
They'll have to have something to transport the body in. They must have a cart somewhere. Look in every barn.
They'll be halfway to Bodmin by now. And all they'll find, if and when they do open him up, is brandy.
We'll start at the bottom of the village. We'll question at every house. Someone might have seen something suspicious. Now, the people we be looking for be wearing smart clothes. Probably they be coming from London. All right? I do beg your pardon, sir.
Now, Doctor. Be a lot of people about tonight.
There'll be a hideous crime coming in.
Tis a rare, terrible world we do live in, sir.
Well, so this is about then.
Ready? We should be leaving in a moment.
Almost.
I see you've decided to let your condition show.
Why not? I'm proud of it.
Come along, then. This could be rather a painful morning for everybody.
Prudy.
Yes, Ma.
What on earth are you doing here, Prudy?
Tidying up, Master.
But ain't you going to the funeral?
No, Mom.
Why not?
'Cause there ain't gonna be one. He ain't dead.
Prudy, what do you mean he's not dead? I saw him.
That's as maybe, Master, but he did make a miracle recovery, Roddy's black heart.
But Prudy, that's wonderful.
I don't think it be, Mum. Not the mood he be in. Well, I was out to know he was going to come back. And I was spending the money on him.
Oh, get away from me! Leave me be! Can a man have some peace?
What do heaven look like then, eh, John?
If you don't leave me be, I'll send you there!
Remarkable. catalepsy?
Yeah!
An element of doubt. Might be, but I'd hesitate how to prescribe.
A febrifuge, or an administration of Gleisters?
No. No.
Yeah, he can go to hell and all.
There may be a lingering fever. Perhaps if we fired a pistol beside his ear, we might disperse it.
Oh, no, he don't.
Gentlemen, I think the matter should be discussed outside. The patient needs and deserves rest. And he is my patient.
How did it happen?
I truly don't know, Ross. But I doubt in Judd's case it is a miracle. Don't keep him too long. Being a phenomena means he gets little enough rest.
Oh, Judd.
Ah, Cap.
You look a deal better than when I last saw you.
I'm beginning to wish I were dead.
We all thought you were.
With God's help, I soon will be. Look at Yeah! They've been here all day and all last night, like I'd be a peep show. Get off home with you! It'd be a hard life, Captain. Thank God it do last no longer than a lifetime, or I couldn't live through it.
What did he say to the Archangel Gabriel at the gate, St. Judd? I've been here to tell him.
Go the devil!
How did it happen, Judd?
I wish I knew, Captain. All I do know, I wakes up, and there I am, lying in a coffin, and the rain dripping down on me, and what be I doing here, I says. I go and have a drop of brandy, I says. And when I do get there, they all look at me as if I was unhuman or something.
I expect they thought you were.
Well, I ain't. And when I do get back, what do I find? But that Prudy has spent all my money on my funeral, and I ain't even dead.
You can't blame her for that. She believed she was doing it for you. Anyway, you should be thankful you're not dead.
Huh? After what I've been through?
Especially so. That beating was enough to see any man off.
Not really, Captain.
Who was it, Judd? Did you know them?
No, sir. Didn't.
Did you know what they were after? Was it the money?
What money?
You know what I'm talking about.
It's all right, sir. No matter what they say. It's not true.
Well, it doesn't matter anymore, does it? If that is what they were after, they certainly didn't get it, did they?
No. Because that cabby old Merrill wife of mine's gone and spent it all. And I haven't got it. No one's got it.
Your pardon, sir. My colleague and I have reached the conclusion that the patient might still be suffering from an occluding of the brain, in which case it should be dispersed immediately. You'll feel much better now.
No one's gone mad. I'll kill him.
More likely kill yourself. And 2 funerals in as many days is more than the rest of us could bear.
The whole world's gone mad. Wake me up on Resurrection Day.
Thank you, Ellen. Mr. Ross will be arriving shortly. Will you show him up?
I think we're a little early.
Well, unless his watch is slow again, Pasco should be here in 15 minutes.
On the stroke of 10.
In the meantime, we could help ourselves to a glass of Mr. Pierce's excellent port.
What a splendid idea.
And decide on how we want to approach this matter?
Am I ill again? I didn't know I'd sent for you.
Since you were so kind as to recommend me to your uncle, I am not an infrequent visitor. However, on this occasion, I did also want to see you. I have had another cartload of oranges delivered. I would like to say how grateful I am, although that is difficult when the object of one's gratitude refuses to stay still.
Oh, I love swings.
Miss Penvennon, please listen. Your generosity will save many poor people a great deal of suffering. Oh, I know it is not fashionable nor witty to express one's feelings openly, but I am grateful to you, on their behalf. Your servant, ma'am.
Dr. Ennis. I didn't expect gratitude for being rich.
Oh, not because you are rich, Miss Penvennon. Many people are rich. But you have done something with your wealth.
When will you be distributing the oranges?
On Wednesday, why?
I thought perhaps that I might come and help.
I'm afraid I cannot allow that. Oh, I would be very pleased, but many of my patients suffer from other diseases which are contagious.
To which you, I presume, are immune.
No, but it is my work.
Well, you need have no fear. I will not be troubling you on Wednesday. Unwin is coming to discuss the marriage vows and everything that apparently goes with them.
Unwin. Of course, you're intended.
Who seems to think that marriage is a contract. Like buying a cartload of oranges for a fixed price. You see how being wealthy has its drawbacks, Dr. Ennis. I have been financially spoken for, not for love, but for what my father left me, and for what my uncle intends to leave me. I sometimes wonder, given another father and another uncle, who would have spoken for me?
Nevertheless, I'll wish you pleasure of it, Miss Penvennon, and say goodbye. Thank you again for your kindness.
Not at all. It was my pleasure, Dr. Ennis.
He'll wake on the 5th stroke. And on the 8th stroke, Mr. Pascoe will enter.
Mr. Pascoe. Gentlemen, we are where is Mr. Pascoe?
Entering, Mr. Pierce. Entering.
Good. Then we can start the business. Now, where's my port?
Still going fishing, Harry? Has the master noticed yet? That he'd be expecting?
I told him. So now it's no secret, you can tell whoever you like.
Well, I hadn't said nothing. Like I told he, shouldn't be going out rowing. Not now.
We need fish to salt down for the winter, so there's no more to be said.
Oh, don't get off. Thought the master said he weren't to come in the house, that varmint.
He's not a varmint, he's a dog. And he's got a name like everybody else, Garrick.
Garrick? What kind of a name's that for a varmint like him?
Well, I like it, and he's not a varmint, he's a dog. How's Jed?
Oh. His recovery weren't the miracle I might have hoped for.
Why, is he worse?
No. He's exactly the same as he used to be. Bad-tempered.
So, thusly, it is agreed that Ross Poldark, Francis Poldark, and leaving room for any other persons who may be agreeable to investing, subject to the agreement of the original investors, wish to draw up articles of association towards the setting up of a company to reopen the mine known as Wheel Grace. Is that your intention, gentlemen?
Yes.
And that the company's legal advisors shall be myself?
Yes.
And that the company's bankers shall be the firm of Mr. Pascoe?
Yes.
Before that minute is passed...
I beg your pardon?
The minute.
25 past the hour.
Now, I'm referring to the point under discussion, Mr. Pierce. The minute. There. I wish to point out to Captain Ross Poldark and Mr. Francis Poldark, the investors heretofore stated...
As we have it writ here.
I know, sir, we have it writ there. Indeed, I know. I'm trying to put a point before you.
Then you shall.
Thank you. You must understand, gentlemen, that times being what they are and capital not readily available and so on and so on...
What are you telling us, Mr. Pascoe?
That my bank can help to a certain point. Certain point. We will go as far as we can. But unless the mine prospers within a reasonable time...
It will, I think.
Good, good. But you must understand, gentlemen, that I shall be investing in you other people's money. And I must protect them. I have a duty to protect them.
We've done business many times in the past, Mr. Pascoe. I understand your position. So does my cousin.
Are you willing to take the risk on us, Mr. Pascoe?
Yes, I am. But in all honesty, I must point out that should you require long-term risk and liquidity, the only other bank that has such facilities is the Warleggan Bank.
Not under any circumstances.
Are you willing to be our banker, Mr. Pascoe?
Yes, sir. I know that you're both men of your word, of which there are not very many left. But we must be realistic.
Thank you. I nominate Mr. Pascoe as our banker.
I second that.
Then the motion is carried.
Thank you, gentlemen. And now, if you'll forgive me, I must leave you. Other appointments. Things to do. Things to do. I wish you well.
Goodbye, Mr. Pascoe. Thank you.
Goodbye, Mr. Pascoe.
Goodbye.
Good day, Pascoe.
Good day.
Well, a very satisfactory meeting, gentlemen. Work is well for the future.
Just one more thing, Mr. Pierce.
Sir?
I would like the articles of agreement to be drawn up in my son's name.
A child? Well, it can be done, but may I ask why?
Yes, well, I have debts with the Warleggans. My son doesn't. And if the mine proves successful, they may try to have call on me. But they have no call on my son.
I can see you're a very intelligent man, Mr. Poldark. What are your feelings, my boy?
I second it.
Then the motion is carried.
Listen, Father. Pierce's clerk told Garth he'd heard there was enough copper in Wheel Grace to fill Truro. If that's true, I think
Doesn't matter whether it's true or not. It takes money to dig more money out of the ground, and they haven't got any.
They're finding it.
Where?
Ross still has the money we paid for his shares in Wheel Leisure.
Barely enough to cover his debt.
Be that as it may, Father, I think we should...
Nearly 10 years back, I had my mine captains all over Wheel Grace. And I know there isn't any copper there. Second, money breeds money. If you haven't got none, it can't breed none. So let them open. See what comes of it.
Excuse me. The one lesson we should have learned about Ross Poldark by now, Father, was the danger of underestimating him.
I thought we were arranging for Mr. Garth to quit the county.
It's in hand.
Garrick! Garrick! Come back here! Come by! Garrick! Garrick! Stop it! Stop it!
No. No. Please. No. No, please. What be going on?
Jud, what be you doing here?
Trying to get some rest, that's what I be doing. Trying to sleep where no one can come poking me and staring and asking stupid bloody questions, and then I'm to get attacked by that there vicious dog.
Why don't you go home?
How can I go home? That's where them all be waiting for me. Can't a man have a bit of peace and quiet nowhere? Yeah, all I want is a bit of peace and quiet. That's what I want. That's all I want. Be left alone. Just
Garrick! Come back here! Come back here, Garrick! Garrick! Bad boy! Bad boy!
Well, we can't do anything until we get the water out.
What pumping machinery were you thinking of?
What?
Pumping engines, the Wheel Grace.
I haven't given it much thought. Something we must decide.
Very nice.
Bolton and Watt are very good.
Yes. Sorry?
Forget him, Ross. Let's prove the Poldarks are more than equal to a blacksmith's son by making Wheel Grace the richest mine in the country.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Bolton and Watt.
Very good engineers. But Henshaw had an idea about 2 young engineers in Redruth. Now, I didn't think to bring it up at the meeting, but I'd like to offer Henshaw the job of mine captain. How would you feel about that?
I can't think of anyone better.
He can't afford to buy shares, but I'd like him to be in. He's dependable.
Well, yes, he's very good, but isn't he sort of involved with Wheel Leisure?
Yes. Well, there's no reason why he shouldn't retain his investment there and work for us. It would annoy the Warleggans. That Popman's always somewhere else. Let me get another bottle of brandy and we can drink to the future.
How are you, Ross? You're looking well.
So are you, George.
I was pleased to hear the verdict at the trial.
You surprised me.
Oh, I never thought you were guilty.
I wasn't. But someone spent a great deal of money trying to prove I was.
We all have enemies.
And one of the witnesses who spoke for me was attacked a few nights ago. It was fortunate he wasn't killed. I hope whoever contrived that doesn't think that intimidation can be only one-sided.
Probably some private quarrel. I hear that you and Francis are embarking on a new venture.
You keep your ear to the ground, George, or the keyhole.
It's a foolish investment. Wheel Grace has no drainage. It'll cost you a fortune in pumping engines alone.
We'll find the money.
Not from Mr. Pascoe.
And certainly not from you. No matter what happens. Now, would you mind removing that?
You do know where the money came from that Francis is investing in your new mine.
Yes, indeed, and we're both very grateful to you. Now, if you don't remove that stick...
30 pieces of silver.
One of the things I've always most disliked about you, George, is the way you dress. Popman. Give my regards to your tailor, George.
had an accident, did he, sir?
Yes, I fell off my horse. Where's your mistress?
She went out, sir.
Where?
She didn't say, sir.
Well, where the devil does she go when I want to talk to her?
Fishing, sir.